Hey, good evening, and thanks for tonight's edition of Conversations with Camden. We have some students here with us tonight who have transferred into us, some mid-year, some at the beginning of the year, because of course, being a boarding school, everyone here is basically a transfer student. But we do want to talk about what it's like to come in the middle of the year. So we're going to have these young men kind of share their stories, because we know that many of you watching tonight may be considering, a second semester enrollment or one right after Thanksgiving. One thing to keep in mind tonight is we want this to be very interactive. So please post your questions that you may have throughout the broadcast with hashtag Camden Military, or you can do hashtag CMA Future, hashtag CMA Future or hashtag Camden Military, and we will get those questions and address it to these young men. I want to start out tonight by letting them introduce themselves and just kind of tell you where they're from, how long they've been here, and maybe what part of the year that they start. So if we will, we'll start off with Pitt. How about you start us off?
Hello guys, I'm William Pitt from Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm in 10th grade and I transferred in last year, so my ninth grade year in January, so after second semester.
All right. And Bowie, how about you?
Hello, my name is Amani Bowie, and I'm from Augusta, Georgia, 12th grader, and I came here last year, so this is my second year.
All right. And Fleer?
Hello guys, my name is David Fleer. I came here in the middle of September of last year, so in 7th grade, and I am from Shelby, North Carolina.
All right. And then last but not least, Ripabor.
Hey guys, my name is James Oribabor. I came here September 2014 in ninth grade. I'm now a senior. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. So my panel tonight of cadets, they're primarily from the Southeast, but that's not the case here at Camden. We have about 37 states and 14 countries, I believe, this year. So we certainly have students, from all over the world. These guys just happen to be some Southeastern brothers. But I want to talk a little bit, give us a plug to the CMA football team. CMA football team this past weekend went up to Tennessee and actually won the conference championship. So I think Ripabor and Bowie both were on that team, correct? So, guys, what's it feel like? Bowie, tell me what it feels like bringing home the conference championship. We haven't done that in a while at CMA.
Well, Miami won. Everybody was really happy. Other team, they weren't that happy. They've had it for like 5 years, and we went and took it back. So
yeah. And Ripabor, I know that the team that we beat, Trinity, on Saturday, had beaten us previously this season. So did it feel good to kind of get some revenge?
Yes, sir. It felt good because I know a lot of people were doubting that we were saying that we were going to lose. So it felt good to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we know we have our class on the banner. So
that's right. That's right. You're forever immortalized in the CMA gym. Yeah. And then Pitt actually ran some cross country, and the cross country team won the state championship, I think, 2 weeks ago. So, bringing a state championship back home to Camden's a pretty rare feat. So, Pitt, how does that make you feel?
Yes, sir. It was fun. Pretty hard, but Colonel Heflin, thanks. So.
Yeah, worked hard. Our guys cross country ran about three meets a week, so they were really out there working hard and running a lot. So that really, we've had two of our fall sports, 2 championships. We're having our fall sports banquet Thursday night, and we'll be rewarding all these guys for their hard work. All right, but we're not here to talk about sports. We're here to talk about school and transferring and all that fun stuff. So I want to start out with, guys, why Camden? Whose idea was Camden, and why did you look for a change or need a change in your educational career? And we'll start out with Pitt on that.
Okay, so my dad and my mom, or my stepmom, were both looking for like other options of school, and just like I guess I wasn't performing as well as I could be, and performing to my potential for my grades, and just hanging out with like the wrong crowd. So it got me back on track and doing a lot better.
All right, good for you. And Bowie, same question. Just tell us, why did you need a change in your education career?
Well, mostly it was because of my behavior in my grades, and after my parents and my sister wanted to find a place, they came here. So after that, they said I changed in my character, and I'm more of a leader. I'm more of a leader now. That's what all my friends and parents say. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And Fleer, let's talk to you. When you're kind of young, you came to us in 7th grade. Why? Whose idea was it, and why did you come to Camden?
It was my parents and my mom and my dad's decision because in school I wasn't really doing good in school. I had not that good grades. I had like C's and like F's. So I wasn't really paying attention on school. I was more paying attention on sports. And then that's why my parents decided to send me here just mostly because of grades. Just focusing more on sports.
All right. And last but not least, a Ribabor.
I would say that like how Pitt said he wasn't doing good to his potential or whatever. I think that would be my case, and I was like letting the people I hung around with choose my decisions for me, so I had to get away and focus on myself.
All right. Good. And we have a question from YouTube already, so that's great. And I just want to remind our viewers that if you have questions for these guys, please just use the hashtag Camden Military or hashtag CMA Future, and we'll get to as many of those questions as possible. The question is CMA involved with tech? I'll kind of answer that and maybe ask a couple of you guys questions, but I'm assuming they were referring to technology. So I would say we're not your Bill Gates driven school. We are still a little bit old school. We still use pens and papers and textbooks, but we do have laptops. We do have smart boards in the classroom, iPad technology, all of that. But I just wouldn't say that we're cutting edge technology. Now, as far as we do have a STEM program, we have robotics team. Is anybody on robotics on here tonight? No, we have a robotics team though. So there's lots of activities that you can do that use technology. We have, of course, we use technology for our advertising and marketing. So I do have some students that help with that as well. So there are certainly some opportunities. You just have to look out and find them, seek them out. Another question from YouTube. Guys, everyone asked me this question that I've ever interviewed at Camden Military. Are cadets allowed to have electronics? So Fleer, why don't you start us with that one? Can cadets have electronics?
Yes, we are allowed to have electronics. We can have like a 22-inch TV in our room, Xbox, PlayStation, then we can have our phones. But even there's consequences with that. Let's say you get in trouble, you have bad grades or something, your TAC wants to take your phone away for a couple of days, then they'll take your phone. But yes, you're allowed to have your phone.
Yeah, so that's a big deal for a lot of students is, can I have an Xbox? Can I have the cell phone? You can. There's some rules that come along with it. You have to use it responsibly or you will lose it. But yeah, so that makes everyone feel a little bit better. All right, I want to get back on the topic a little bit of school now, actual academics. And, I know that you guys said that a lot of it was your parents' idea that initially sought out Camden or a different avenue from what you were doing at home. Most of the time, that's the way it is. Guys aren't really excited when they hear the word military school. But did you feel better after you visited the campus, talked to some students? I know we have a couple options where you can come in during an open house with a group of people, or you can come in for an individual tour, which is what we prefer, but we know that everyone can't do that. But I would like for maybe Pitt, just tell me a little bit about your experience when you visited the campus, and did you feel better after visiting?
So when I visited the campus, I got a tour from one of the ambassadors, which they will like miss a period of class and they'll take you around, show you the barracks and just show you everything and show you like what there is about the school that maybe you didn't find out during, say, like looking at it online or watching videos and just get more in depth and show you like really what you're looking at. And so that was nice to see. And also just talk to somebody like my age and my grade just to see how they like the school and like how they do.
So yeah, so how about, did anybody attend an open house with a group of people? Okay, so kind of tell us about that experience. Did it feel better having other people go through it with you, or expand on
Well,
that?
when I came here, I was with one of my friends that was from my old school. And when I was going through and everything, at first I thought everything was gonna be like super strict. And then Colonel Effin told us that the people that were there for summer school were going to Carowinds. So I was like, oh, so it's not like boot camp or something where you're just locked up inside and you can't even move or anything. So it sort of gave
Yeah.
me a little bit of relief.
Yeah, it does for most people. Once they see the campus and they realize that, we don't have bars and gates and armed guards, they tend to lighten up and, maybe not really be excited about coming, but they're willing to give it a shot. And that's all we ask. Do have another question coming up from Twitter. Somebody wants to know what a TAC is. So Ariba, tell them what a TAC is here at Camden Military.
Attack is, well, first of all, it stands for tactical officer. Like the TAC part stands for tactical officer. Um, I would say the best way to explain it is someone like the grown up in the barracks who that's basically like your guardian while you're in the school until you go home, and like somebody that watches over you, make sure you do the right thing, make sure like you're in the right state of mind and everything.
I kind of describe it as the dad while you're here. You know, um,
Yeah,
he serves that role. He's going to be the guy who pats you on the back when you're doing well, and maybe fuss at you a little bit when you're not doing so well. But that TAC officer will have a line of communication with the parents, to discuss the good, the bad, the ugly. But not every phone call. If you see your phone ring and the caller ID says Camden Military, it might not be bad news. Okay, answer the phone because we do call with some good news from time to time as well. Another question from YouTube. Want to know, are there uniforms? And absolutely they are. We have some guys wearing different uniforms tonight. So Pitt, we'll start with you. Tell them what kind of uniform you have on.
I'm wearing the class uniform right now, so we will wear this during the class day and usually like all on the weekdays, so like Monday through Friday. And whenever it's like nice outside, shiny, whatever, you wear this. It's to you get up, you get dressed, and you'll get in this uniform until free time, which is like 3:30 in the afternoon. So you'll go through class. Then during free time, you can dress out into like civilian clothes, so just your regular clothes. And you get dressed in it for dinner, and you go to dinner, come back, you change, and you can get dressed in civilians for study hall if you're on honors or dean's list. So are some like perks and whatnot that come with grades. So
Yeah. All right. And Bowie, you have on ACU. So kind of explain to everybody, when do you wear the ACU uniform?
Well, ACUs are a Army combat uniform, and you usually wear ACUs when it's like bad weather or like raining. Like most of the time, just raining, and you wear them like it's sort of rare to wear them, depending on like what year it is. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's raining out there right now. It's been raining here for 2 or 3 days, and it's going to be raining for 2 or 3 more. So they should all be in ACUs, but I had them dress up tonight for the event. Fleer, talk to me a little bit about the dress uniform. Where and how often do you get to wear that?
I'm wearing the dress uniform right now. This is where you wear on normal parades where all the companies line up and do what they're normal and show all the parents, and you wear this uniform in the chapel too. So this is pretty much a nice uniform you're wearing instead of your class uniform or your ACUs.
Yeah. All right. Another question from YouTube. They want to know, how does CMA help with motivation and keeping focus for high schoolers? Because I think their high schooler probably has a lack of motivation. So let's go to a Ripabor for that. Were you unmotivated as far as academics before coming to Camden, and how has Camden helped you improve that?
I would say that yeah, it does help with your motivation because it's so diverse that you see a lot of people around you that actually like push you to do like your schoolwork in a good way, and like um well, yeah, in that aspect, it's just everyone like most people around you will push you to like do your work. And when you get some privileges being on like deans or honors lists, and like it's just a lot of like you can your name, I guess your name gets out there more just by like being a good student in your books. So it
Yeah.
doesn't motivate you.
Pitt, how about you? Were you kind of, I hear from some parents that, hey, my son is lazy. He's not working up to his potential. Did that describe you before coming to Camden?
It definitely did. Before I came, I was definitely lazy and chose a lot of other things over doing my schoolwork and homework, whether it be like Xbox or hanging out with friends or just watching TV, really doing anything. And then when I came, I decided that like I was gonna turn my grades around and like try and finish off the year strong. And I think the study hall every night helps a lot with that. Not on the weekends, but during every school day, you'll have study hall, and it just helps. It's like a good time to where you don't get distracted by electronics or just anything else, but it's just you and your roommate, and you sit down and you just get your books out and study and do homework and whatever you need and get prepared for the next day. And I think that helped me a lot.
That's what I hear a lot is the homework issue tends to be, every parent's nightmare. Before guys come to Camden, they're typically not doing their homework, or they're really driving parents crazy and doing their homework but not turning it in. And so here with the supervised study hall, you have to do your homework, and so you're going to turn it in. You're going to get that academic credit for it, and grades are going to improve. All right, I have another question from YouTube. It says, are there any ROTC programs in the Army? And if guys want to jump in, but ROTC program, yes, everyone participates in ROTC from grade 7 through 12. Only 9th through 12th grade receives the credit for it. So they will keep a file on you, and if you choose to join the service, it will go into the military with a promotion. So you'll start about an E3 in the Army, having graduated from Camden Military, because we have an honor unit with distinction. Now, having said that, we want these guys to go to college. We want you to go to college, maybe go on an ROTC scholarship, go to a service academy, and then join the military if that's what you want to do. But we do have some students each year in a graduating class that will go straight into the military. But I talked to these guys today earlier, and each one of them have college aspirations. And even as we had Duke and Toledo and NC State, and where was the other one? I forgot. I'm leaving somebody out. But yeah. So anyway, these guys, are at least have college on their brain. As young as Fleer. I remember Fleer specifically said NC State College of Engineering, which was impressive to me that he already has a goal and he's only in 8th grade. All right, another question coming in. How many students attend CMA? I guess that would be me again. We have capacity to hold 300 students here at Camden. Currently, we have 277. So that's why we are still accepting applications for enrollment after Thanksgiving, and then another enrollment for second semester. Did any of you guys attend a summer program? Anybody attend our CMA summer? No. Okay, I thought somebody went to summer. So I'm going to answer this one too. I'm doing a lot of talking. So for the summer school, we have a couple options for you. You have the high school program and the middle school program. The middle school guys go to class half the day, and then they have camp activities in the afternoon. As far as high schoolers, it's pretty much all academic all day. You're going to be in class from about 8:30 to 3:30. You'll still have the mandatory study hall at night, but it's very academically challenging. So just keep that in mind. But you can earn 1 full credit in 2.5 weeks, right at 3 weeks, and that's pretty good if you're trying to make up or recover a credit. Now, a question comes in that I know that everyone can answer this one. Do cadets get to go home on holidays? So I bet somebody on this panel can tell me how many wake-ups there are until Thanksgiving break, but instead I will let Bowie answer the question. Do you get to go home on holiday breaks?
Yes, sir. Like we have 3 more days left till we go on Thanksgiving break, and that's going to be 9 days. So everybody's really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, and teachers as well. Yes, absolutely. But we have the Thanksgiving break, and then we come back for about 3 weeks, and then we go out for Christmas for a full 3 weeks. And then we also have a mandatory spring break. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, and spring break are your mandatory breaks. And then we have other times that you can go home throughout the year. We have both a winter break as well as a fall break where you can choose to go home, but you don't have to. And then we also have furlough opportunities in between those. So yes, you will be able to go home. All right, how about discipline and behavior? If someone gets in trouble here, what happens? Because that's what a lot of guys are worried about. They think we're going to yell and scream and drop and give me 20. But how about Fleer? What happens if you get in trouble here at Camden? Give us a little merit, demerit talk.
If you get in trouble at Camden, you're going to walking the pad. That's where you're holding, let's say, a 6-pound to 10-pound rifle and going around our parade field. If you get in trouble, like most times they're all talking back and constantly getting write-ups where you're not turning in your homework, and then you're getting tours for that. 'Cause the tours can range from 25 to maybe 100. You have to walk others off, and a lot of people don't want to be on the pad because they want free time. And that's pretty much how you get in trouble.
Yeah. So, it's basically what you make of it. We're not here to make you miserable. I had a visit earlier today and tried to explain to the young man, I don't lay awake at night and try to figure out ways to make these guys miserable or to torture them. We want them to be happy. We want them to succeed, and they can't succeed if they're not happy. So we do have a merit and demerit system. And Pitt, can you tell us a little bit, some different ways how you earn merits or maybe how you receive demerits?
Yes, sir. So earning merits, like you can help your teachers out doing really anything, and they can write you up for classroom merits, which goes straight to your TAC officer, and that'll go on like the merit board, which the first sergeant of your company will update every morning. And with that merits, you get 50 merits, and you can earn a furlough for a weekend, so you can go home and spend a weekend with your family. And then you can also earn academic furloughs. And then there's demerits. So say you don't turn in your homework, or you talk back to a teacher, or you're just having an off day, and they write you up for classroom demerits, then that'll go, and the demerits will count towards the merits you already have banked up. And so obviously you don't want that. But
Then the more merits, the more privileges you have, and the more demerits, the more you lose. So you always want to stay on that merit side if at all possible. Now, guys, back
yes,
to
sir.
transferring in. Um, were you nervous about coming in mid-year? And did guys treat you differently because you were a mid-year transfer? Or talk a little bit about that, the difference maybe between starting at the very beginning of the year versus coming in second semester or after Thanksgiving. Rivabor, how did you handle that transfer?
I felt like I think I handled it by just sucking it up and like doing what I had to do. Um, I think I transferred around this time of the year in like 2014. So I guess I wasn't really treated differently because it was still kind of like beginning of the year. So yeah, that's about it. Like I knew I just had to do it.
Yeah. And Pitt, I think you actually started second semester, correct?
Yes, sir. So I came
Yes. Yeah.
January. I came
Go ahead.
January my second semester, and I really think that coming in the middle of the year, you get a lot more attention from like the other cadets. Like they help you, and they, I guess, make it their mission to get you up to like what they've been doing all year. So there's a lot of time. They like put a lot of time and effort into catching you up on like what you've missed and whatnot. And so I feel like you do get a lot more attention than say coming in with like 50 students at the beginning of the year in your company. So
Yeah, and we're not going to expect students who transfer in to know everything right away. Everyone's not going to know how to pass a room inspection and shine shoes and make up beds with hospital corners. So we will spend a little bit of time, working with you on those things. So, all right. Another question about school is, tell me a little bit about your teachers here at Camden. How are they different from maybe the teachers at your other school, prior to coming here? And we'll start out with Bowie on that one.
Well, every teacher that I really like. Most of them are like really funny, but they teach you everything you need to know, and they're really easy to talk to. And a lot of them are coaches too, so you get to see them a lot. So you'll get to like know your teachers and start like just like socializing a lot with them.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Bowie. I'm glad you said that. All of our teachers here have to coach sports or sponsor clubs, so the guys get out of class interaction with them, which is really important. And sometimes over the years, I've seen kids, ask their teachers questions about calculus on the baseball field or something. So the teaching doesn't necessarily have to take place in the four walls of the classroom, which is pretty cool as well, different from most schools. Who else can give me a comparison, maybe from what your school used to be like, what the classroom sizes are here? Is it, just what's different? So yeah, Pitt, go ahead.
So at my other school, there was like 30 to 35, 40 people in a classroom. and it was just like the teacher didn't even know your name, and then like you turn something in or whatnot, and they just like would not know who you are. And here it's like 10 people max in a classroom, 10 12 people, and that just helps a lot with like you get to like form a bond with your teachers, and like they know you, and like they'll know when something's off or like you're having an off day, and like they're easy to talk to, and also just able to like help. And they're AOCs every night during study hall, so they're like scheduled to come through like one of the barracks for a week, um, and they help during study hall, so you can get help after school too during study hall. So I think that's different from a lot of other schools.
And Fleer, did you want to add something? I saw you raise your hand there.
That all there might be some classes that are easier, some classes that are harder, but most of the time they're all even. And like the teachers want to push you as hard as you can, not as hard as you can go, but push you so you have good grades. Probably like at your old school, you're just like your teachers are like, oh, I want to get this assignment done. But now the teachers like places like maybe a week on one assignment. Just go slow, make sure you get everything correctly so you do good on the tests. Like
Yeah.
old public school
Riverboard?
would do.
Yeah, Riverboard, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Um, I a good comparison would be like at a public school or like whatever school you went to before. I would say at my school that I went to before, you were like basically known as a number. But when if you come here, you're known like people like the teacher actually knows who you are and like where you came from.
Yeah, and that is you get that personal connection here because we are a small campus, with the small class sizes, and that is important as well. All right, we got a question from Twitter, guys. This one was, what was the hardest part about transitioning to a military boarding school? So I guess what was the biggest change, or what was the hardest thing to overcome when you guys first entered school here? And Bowie, we'll start with you on that.
Well, the hardest thing for me was looking on Snapchat and seeing all my friends hanging out and like having fun and going like homecoming, all that stuff. But that was just something I had to look into the future and be like, I know what I'm doing, so I know this is gonna work for my benefit.
Yeah, and do any of you, since you've been at Camden, kind of, and I'm not saying anything bad about your friends at home, but maybe when you go back home, look at things a little differently. Wonder why your friends are doing this or doing that. Yeah, Fleer, go ahead.
When I came here, I was like, it's good that I'm meeting new people all across the United States and sometimes other countries. And then when I go home, it's like, I know you, but I'm good. I know I'm good friends with you, but I think I have a better bond with the kids here since I see them 24/7. I think they're more better friends here than like at home because they might be doing bad choices, but here you can't do bad choices. So that's why I pretty much like the friends that I have here than I have at home since they do like doing bad choices and stuff.
Yeah, great. All right. Now, this must be from my mom on YouTube, wants to know, how do the students motivate each other? You do have a peer pressure here. So Riverboard, go right ahead. Tell her how the students motivate each other.
I would say like if you pick the right person, because not everybody's gonna come here and want to do the like just change out of nowhere. Like some people are still gonna be the same way they were, but if you pick the right people to hang out with, I would say for like speaking for myself, and anytime I see somebody in my barracks like just act in a way that I know like they can act better than, I always try to like talk to them, let them know that like anytime you need something, like I can talk to you about it or I can help you out with it. So I guess that's a good way of motivation, like just you just building a brotherhood with everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a big part too, as far as the motivation goes, is you sink or swim as a team here. It's not all about you anymore. You live here with 50 other guys in your hallway. And if you guys are doing well, you're all being rewarded for it. If we have a few weak links there and they start to stumble, everybody's going to have some consequence they have to pay. So, you stay after each other to keep you excelling at whatever it is, whether it be academics, militarily, whatever. All right, I have a question from YouTube. It says he has a 16-year-old son and he's really reluctant of military school because of the discipline. Somebody, can you give this 16-year-old any advice about that? He's worried about the discipline at military school. Pitt, can you talk about that for me?
Yes, sir. So at Camden, it's like definitely not like the typical like military school. They won't like get in your face and like yell at you and like make you do a bunch of push-ups and whatnot in formation. And usually like your chain of command, which is like kids your age and like maybe like a grade or two above you, like they definitely like will talk to you and like help make sure that like everything's all right. And like if you're like having a bad day and like they're wondering why you're like acting up or whatever, like they'll definitely talk to you. And like it's more of a brotherhood than it is like people yelling at you and whatnot. So like you definitely get the, I guess, community and like being able to like talk with people instead of like more or less getting yelled at by like a bunch of like big dudes and whatnot.
Yeah. One thing I've heard a lot over my time here at Camden is, the parents will come in and say, they don't want to listen to me, and I'm like, well, no joke. We're over 21, we're old. We've never done anything, never had any experiences that they think we can relate with. But of course we have, but these guys respond to each other. They want to fit in, they want to have friends, they want to be part of that brotherhood. And that's kind of what, helps these guys and pushes them to the next level. Now, the question also had a part two, that, can a student enroll or can I enroll my student if he's rebelling and maybe, not on board with the idea? The answer is no. We do not want a student here who doesn't at least have the motivation to want to change. We're not going to take anyone kicking and screaming. We don't have bars and gates or chains, so, he could run away. So, we want guys here who know that maybe they're not excited about being here, but, this is what I need to do for now. And it may be because mom and dad said I had to, but while I'm here, I'm going to make the best of it. Because, earlier in the broadcast, I think I asked all four of you whose idea, and I don't think any of you said it was yours. Sometimes it is a student's idea. We have had students that come to us, transfer back to public school for a year, and then call me back at the start of the next school year wanting to come back because they actually miss us, believe it or not. So it's different for everybody, but if you're just willing to give us about a third of what you've got on your first day when you arrive at Camden, we can get you to success the rest of the way. All right. Good question here. What sports do y'all have? All right, let's talk sports again. All guys love sports. We love competition. And since we're having a really good year, let's talk about it. Bowie, what sports do we have? Give me maybe the fall and winter sports, and then we'll let Pitt give us the spring sports.
Well, we have cross country, we have wrestling, and we have blackjacks, but that's like full year. And we also have rifle team, but that starts in the spring.
Yeah. And of course, football, basketball. Yeah. And then
Yes.
Pitt, how about go over some of the spring sports too?
So during the spring we have lacrosse, baseball, track, then yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
We actually have 13 sports. If we didn't name yours, Pitt would like to focus on lacrosse because that's his sport. But we do have a lot to keep you busy. So, if you come in, again, remember I said earlier, all of our teachers have to coach a sport or sponsor a club. And so we'll keep you busy plugged into sports while you're here. We also have an intramural program. So if you're not a big athlete, that's okay. You could play extreme frisbee or flag football as part of your sports requirement. All right. A question from Twitter. What's the hardest transition to a military boarding school? I think we had this earlier, but I don't know if I actually let everyone answer. So let's Pitt, how about start there? And we're going to let everybody what's the hardest transition to a military school?
I think the hardest transition for me was just being away from home and like leaving all like my friends. And then I realized like when I was here and I got here like over time that like I don't really miss like those friends I was hanging out with as much, and they definitely didn't influence me to do things that I should be doing. And so like a lot of the friends here helped me to like um I guess do better. But I didn't see that when I first came. But I guess over time you learn to adjust and just getting everything down.
Fleer, how about you? Coming from a younger perspective, tell me a little bit, what was the hardest part when you initially got to Camden?
My hardest part was pretty much like leaving my mom, my dad, and my sister, because that's like every time I wake up, I get to see my parents every day. But here, when I wake up, I just see like pretty much not my parents. So like when I first came, I was a little sad because I didn't get to see my parents, and like I miss my house, like how I get to choose the air how I want it, and then my dogs, my animals, and some of my friends. That's pretty much. But then after I got used to it for a couple of days, I was like started meeting some friends, started playing some sports because I played basketball and tennis. Then I started getting made some friends, and that's pretty much it.
Right. And very proud of the side of the discussion out there that if someone comes to Camden Military, that we're going to, train them on how to go into battle and fight a war for us or something. And that's not the case. The military structure, the organization, the time management, all those skills, that's what kind of backs up and supports what we're trying to accomplish here academically as well as life skills. So that's what the military part of Camden Military is all about. Got another question coming in from YouTube. Can you talk about the general background of the teachers and the military background, et cetera? Yes, so the TAC officers are actually retired military. They will all be in the barracks. Remember, we said they're kind of like the dads here on campus. And then our teachers, some come from the military, others come from right out of school with a teacher's degree. But yeah, I mean, so it's a mixture. About 30% are retired military, and then the rest are your general teachers. So it's a nice mix. We do only have, I think, 3 female instructors. So most of our instructors are male, which I think is good too. Being a single gender school, we've all been there, done that. Of course, it might not have been cell phone. For me, it was Atari. If there are any parents out there, you probably remember Atari. These guys don't know what I'm talking about. But that was our big thing, and it goes a long way. All right, another one, YouTube. How long does it take for new cadets to get used to the school? How long does it take? A Riverboard, tell me how long did it take you to kind of get used to everything here?
It took me about 3 days maybe,
I
and that
tell
was
people,
because
go ahead.
like um I noticed that I did more than like I was more busy than what I was at home. Like when I first came, it was basketball season. I played in the first game. The biggest thing I just adjusted to was the food. I didn't eat a lot of this type of food before I came here, so I had to try new things and stuff and find out things I like.
There you go. And we do, he mentioned food. I get questions sometimes about food. How is the food? It's good. It's not your 5-star gourmet dining experience, but it's better than public school food. And if you're doing well in class, if you're behaving, teachers, staff, whatever, will take you off campus to eat out. I also encourage guys to play sports and get involved in clubs because you get to go off campus and eat out as well for that. So that's always a big perk, is getting off campus. I want to real quick remind everybody, you can ask us questions with hashtag Camden Military, hashtag Camden Military or hashtag CMA Future. Either of those hashtags will get to your questions here. We're having a good conversation about transferring into Camden. So we're still accepting applications. If you're interested, kind of the admissions procedure, you would fill out an online application. Go to camdenmilitary.com. You'll find the online application, complete that, submit some unofficial transcripts for us. We'll then give you a quick call and set up a campus visit, phone interview, Skype interview, get things moving along. And just depending on how fast you want to move, we'll be taking students in after Thanksgiving between November 27th and December 3rd. And then after December 3rd, you would have to wait until January to come in, until after the Christmas break, because we like for everyone to be here on campus for about 2 weeks before they go home for the first time. Also, when Riverboard was talking earlier about the adjustment period, I have a joke that I tell with parents all the time. What I've seen over the years, the first 3 or 4 days are actually going to be the toughest. A lot goes on where you get a haircut, you get uniforms, you go to strange classes, new teachers, new friends, and it's kind of a scary situation. And after 3 nights or 3 days here, you kind of realize that we're not going to kill you. We're not going to, put you in prison. So you kind of relax. You start, hey, these other guys are kind of like me. We're all here for the same reason. We're here trying to improve ourselves, and things seem to go a little smoother. So I always joke and say, if you're going to cry, it's going to be on day 3, because you're mentally and physically exhausted from all the newness. So we kind of look like a mortuary sometimes around here. We got Kleenexes everywhere, on the 3rd day of a new school year. So hopefully we won't have to do that for you. But if you do get homesick while you're here, let us know, because we do have some students who, do get homesick. All right, I want to talk a little bit about your subject areas. Now, you're going to have block scheduling and traditional scheduling. Traditional scheduling would be where you're taking the same classes the entire year, 6 classes a day. If parents are watching, pretty much what we did when we were in school. Block scheduling is going to be a little different. You can have A/B days where they go to different classes depending on the day of the week, or you could go to a block schedule where you take 4 classes first semester and 4 classes second semester. As far as a transfer is concerned, if you are on a block schedule, you want to transfer before the end of that first block, because once those block grades go on your transcript, there's nothing we can do to help improve those. However, if you don't take the final exam in your block schedule classes, we are able to work with you, and you finish out the entire year with us, so hopefully that grade will go up. And if you're on a traditional schedule, when you have the 6 classes a day, then there's no problem. You can pretty much make a transfer at any time without any issues coming up. But just for any parents or any families that are considering making that transfer and you're on block scheduling, make sure, if you want to improve the grades, that you do not take that final exam. All right. We have a question coming in from YouTube again. It says, can my son repeat a semester of 10th grade that he's completed with some poor grades? That one would be for me. So yes and no. What we can do is, if he's already graduated, or you promoted, 10th grade was last year, he's now in 11th grade. Yes, we could kind of retake some courses. The higher course would count into his GPA, unless he made an F. If you make an F, that's on your transcript and calculated into your GPA forever. But if you transfer to us with maybe a D in math, and you retake that course, and you make a B, the B is going to be the one that's calculated into your GPA. So that was a very good question. Also, are there any loan programs that we offer? Again, that's a question for me. We don't, as a school, offer any loans. We do offer financial aid for mid-year transfer student. We don't have any financial aid left for this school year. We will start awarding financial aid next school year, usually in January or so. And so if you're interested, in attending in August of 2019, you want to apply. First, your son has to be accepted by the school, and then you can apply for that financial aid. You can get up to 30% off of the tuition. It's all based on need, and we want to help as many families as we can with that. I have a question about a typical day at Camden. So Fleer, why don't we let you take that one? Can you what time do you wake up, and kind of take us through a typical day?
Okay, I'll do that. Yes, sir. So a normal day, we wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then after that, they make sure everyone's here, woke up. Then you go back to your room. You get dressed in class uniform, what Pitt William is wearing. Then after that, you go to breakfast at 7. Right after you eat breakfast, normal meal would be like orange juice. Then it'll be cereal, pancakes, waffles, what you might eat at home. Then next, you go drilling, whatever your TAC decides to do, PT, exercise, run, drill. And after that, you go back to the barracks, pack your bags, go to classes. You have to be in class by 9:25, but classes start at 9:30. Then after that, we have, during first period on Monday, we have tutorial. That's 20 minutes where you can go any classes you want, but it has to be your teacher. And if you need any help in classes, you go there. And then Tuesday, after second, Wednesdays after third, and so on until Friday. And after that, 12 o'clock, we have lunch. That's where a normal lunch meal would be like spaghetti. Today we had like spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread. And after that, we go back to class resume at 1:05. And then that's fourth period. And then fifth period. Since I'm in 8th grade, I have PE. But if you're in 9th grade or higher, you have your 6th grade classes, your 6th period classes. So that's what a normal class. And after that, you have formation. Then you go on free time from 3:30 normally to 5:30. And after that, you have dinner. And then that's normal dinner meals. And after that, you have straight march back to the company. You have study hall from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So good, as much time to get your homework done. And at 9 to 9:45, that's when doors crack, lights out. So you can take a shower, brush your teeth, and that's pretty much how your day is.
There you go. Good job, man. All right. I do have a question from YouTube that says, what if a kid comes there and refuses to do anything? Can he be kicked out? Yes, you can be kicked out of Camden Military Academy, but for most of the time, if it's any reasons, is disrespect or just being a little lazy, that wouldn't get you kicked out. So not doing what you're supposed to, we're going to work with you a good bit before we get to the dismissal. But I want our students to be willing to, buy into it at least somewhat. All right, one question I want to ask and give all 4 panelists here a chance to answer this one. What's a change that you've seen in yourself since you've been here at Camden? Tell me something that's different about you, or maybe how your parents view you. Are your parents proud? And Pitt, we'll start with you.
I definitely think I've made my parents more proud, and just like whenever I come home, it's just like a good time, and being able to just actually like have fun with my parents and whatnot, and just have them be proud of me feels really good. And I think one of my biggest changes was just like being more responsible and like more careful for my actions, and also my grades. My grades improved a lot, and I think it's definitely due to the study hall. After dinner, it's just a time that you just don't have any distractions. There's a teacher there in your barracks, every study hall, who can help you, and if you need any help with work. And it's just a good time to sit down and do your homework and focus only on homework, which I really felt like I needed to better my grades.
All right, good job. A Riverboard, what's a change you've seen in yourself or that maybe your parents noticed?
I would say my work desire and my like the choices I make. I'm smarter. I think more about what I want to do. And another thing, like coming to the school, it really like showed me to like realize what's gonna come and like later on in life. Like it feels like yesterday I was just like in 9th grade, but I see myself this year applying for colleges and everything like that.
Good. Bowie, how about you?
Well, my parents say so, and I see myself that I'm more of a leader, and I'm more planning ahead and making better decisions for myself. And I see myself hanging around like with the right people and doing the right thing when I know what I need to do.
All right.
And my
Fleer,
grades are way better.
And your grades are way better, which is always important. Absolutely. All right, Fleer, how about you? What's
Yes.
something you've seen change?
That my grades have got skyrocketed so high. Cause when I was at my public school, I was like having C's and F's. Didn't really care about school, but here, since my teachers are giving me like pat on the back and saying good job on that test, I'm going from C's and F's to A's, all A's, B's, A's and B's. And my parents are more proud of me because I can do stuff what they thought that I might. That I've been struggling. They can tell that I was struggling in school, and they try to help me, but I kind of refused for them to help me. Then when I came here, they'll be like, "Wow, we're very proud of you," and they're very happy about me.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, we've been on for just about an hour, so we've been going a while. So I'm just going to ask a couple of you this question, and we'll see what you have to say. And if you continue, any of our viewers have questions after this, please feel free to send us an email to admissions@camdenmilitary.com. You can also go to our website. Anywhere that you can find there to send an email will actually come to me, and I'll respond to you just as quickly as possible. Also, if you have other questions for these guys on the panel, you want to call them up, talk to them on the phone, just let me know, and we can make that happen as well. All right, guys, for students thinking about transferring into Camden, what's a piece of advice that you would give them? All right, what's a piece of advice that you would give them about coming in and beginning mid-year? We'll start out with Bowie.
Well, one thing I would say would just be to go with the flow and do what the text and your chain of command tells you what to do, because they've been there before and they've done everything that you've done, even the adults, even though you think they haven't, because it was a long time ago when they were your age. But that's how everything needs to be, you know, everything will be easy for you.
Yeah, all right. Pitt, how about you, man? What's a piece of advice you would give to a student thinking about coming in mid-year?
I'd say the school is what you make of it. So if you want to come here and better yourself and like really work and strive for being like a better person, better, really anything, whatever you feel like you need to work on, the school definitely gives you a bunch of opportunities for that. Whether you want to go to college, just get better grades, or like learn how to, I guess, make smarter decisions. The school helps you a lot with that.
All right. Well, guys, I want to thank you for being on the panel tonight, and just want to remind the viewers one more time, we only have about 20 some odd spots left for this school year. So if you're interested, you want to apply sooner rather than later, we don't want to have to tell you there's a waiting list, you know, when January rolls around. So go ahead and give us a call. Again, send more questions to us via emails, and we'll be sure to address them. And thank you for watching tonight. And we'll hope it quits raining here in South Carolina. So when you come for your visit, we'll have some nice warm weather for you. All right, everyone have a good night.